Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Ava's Temple of Consciousness, to part 3 of the hidden world of the tarot. Now, if you're just coming in to this series, it really would be advisable to see part 1 and part 2, so to see these in sequence. The other 2 videos concern themselves with the fundamental philosophy behind the tarot and its relationship to ancient Hermetic worldviews. So it's an essential backdrop to what I'm going to do in this video, and that is to start to give you a description of the 4 suits of the tarot and their elemental corresponding symbols, that being fire, water, air, and earth, which are related to and correspond to the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles. So, in the other videos, I talked about the origins of the tarot being from our ancient ancestors, a very old culture. And they believed that the world is composed of 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Again, corresponding to wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. These elements were considered very critical energy forces, without which life could not be sustained. They believed so absolutely that these elements were essential to the functioning of the physical universe and to our own mind and body. And they believed that the proper balance of these forces was also critical to our well-being and the well-being of the world. You see, what's interesting is that many, if not most, ancient cultures across the world were in complete accord as to the importance of these 4 elements. So they acquired very powerful symbolic meaning to these cultures. They were associated with the 4 corners of the world and the 4 seasons of the year. The 4 corners of the world meant the 4 directions: east, west, north, south. And of course the seasons, spring, summer, winter, fall. So, let's begin to investigate the nature of each one of these elements in the order of their importance or cosmological relevance. The first element is fire, or the wands. It corresponds to the south, the southerly direction, and to summer, seasonally. You see, fire is considered to be the very first element. It was created at the beginning of the universe, it was thought. It is symbolic of pure energy, which gives warmth and light. In the beginning was the light. This element symbolizes action, creativity, passion, courage, assertiveness, strength, freedom, zeal, motivation, insight, visionary insight, spiritually, fire symbolizes the divine power within every soul. The fire that burns within every soul. It's the fire of our passion. Now, because of this, symbolically, again, we know that fire can be very destructive if not contained. So the balancing of fire is containing it. Much as when we contain a fire in the hearth of our home, where it then warms us and nourishes us. You see? The symbolic image that represents fire is a triangle pointing upward. Now, next is water, which is, of course, the cup's suit. So let's think about water. We use water, for instance, to clean away the dirt. So it is symbolic of purity, purification, purifying with love. Water flows, you see. And this fluidity is reminiscent of our feelings, of our emotions, which also flow, move through us. So water represents emotion, emotions, the fluidity of feeling. It's so interesting to me that we are composed of, 70% water? And so is the earth. We share in common a fundamental watery disposition. So, it represents that deep well of feeling that is what makes us human. Symbolically, again, the oceans of the world hide underneath them life, more life than exists on the earth herself. So it also represents fertility, abundant fertility, growth, and communion. Fish swim in schools, after all. So, and it is, of course, represented also by the sign of the fish in Pisces. So, this is a source of life, you see. So it's often symbolic of the source of life. Now, water has another property that's so interesting. It always takes the shape of its container. So water is also symbolic of adaptation. Being able to adapt and change with the conditions. Water also seeks the path of least resistance, symbolizing non-resistance, yielding. So it yields. So water yields. And finally, water has the power to transform itself from liquid to solid to vapor. So water is the epitomal symbol of metamorphosis, and is I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, is associated with autumn and the West. Its image symbol is an inverted triangle. So let's move on now to the third element, which is air, corresponding to the swords suit in the tarot. It's associated with the easterly direction, east, and springtime. Air is associated with the breath of life, the inspiration, which is what the word means. When you first inspire, you awaken. So it symbolizes intelligence, knowledge, perception, thinking, communication, speech. Alchemically, air is between water and fire. It is the balance. It is what bridges the two, balances the two other elements. So it can be considered a bridge, a means by which to bring order to both. Air, when we think of it, is invisible. We can't see it. We can feel it when the wind blows. But it's come to, therefore, symbolize thoughts, thinking, which exists, but you can't really see your thoughts. Air also conducts electricity. It can hold an electrical charge. So it represents the mechanics, the power behind the universe. It sort of fuels the cosmos. The wind is thought in motion, intense movement of ideas. The symbol, the image symbol for it is a triangle with a line through the middle. As I said, it is the bridge. That represents the bridge. And then finally, we have Earth, symbolize or correspondingly known as Pentacles in the Tarot. Earth, of course, is the very ground we walk on. So, naturally, it symbolizes stability. When we plant a seed in the earth, it ultimately grows that which sustains us. So it's symbolic of sustenance. So it's about stability, groundedness, sustenance, nourishment, security, prudence, practicality, security, and common sense. Its direction is north, and its corresponding season is winter. Its image symbol is the triangle upside down with a line through the middle. Again, a bridge. I believe the earth helps to quell the conductivity of fire and air together, you see. Now these four elements, fire, water, air, and earth, rule the 12 zodiac signs. So the different elemental properties of each of these elements is associated with the various personality attributes of the persons born under any particular zodiac sign. And this is categorized as fire signs Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And the earth signs are Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So, like your genetic family, you belong also to a zodiac family, which is why often you share the traits that symbolically define your sign. So I'll end with that, and we'll continue. I don't know what I'll present next, but hopefully it will instruct us in a way where I don't want to overwhelm you, and I want to set in motion in you a grasp of the overall intention and logic and beauty and magic of the tarot. So thank you very much, and I've provided a little link below if you'd like to donate, or if you can't, that's all right. I would love it if you would like and share, and of course subscribe. And thank you very much, and I will see you in the next segment.